Hello and welcome to Stackflow Tech. My name is Emmanuel Meli. In this video, we are going to do another part, which is part 2 of book lending in library management system. Remember, in our previous video, we ensure that we were able to create a lending request. Then we also ensure that we have a number series so that it gave us these lending numbers. We also ensure that we have at least to not only select one book, but also to have more books. Like if you want to borrow more than one book, you can also delete this if you don't like that book. Or if you want to borrow one book, you can delete and you have one record. Now after that, you can submit this request. And then when you submit, we want to change status to pending. And we don't want to do it by just clicking here and then pending or submit. So I want us to explore something on page properties. This page now, we want to create properties for that particular page to ensure that we're going to have various characteristics or features of a page that will help us in managing that this kind of document here. So we are going to introduce something that is known as the actions in the page. We've not discussed it before, but we've done actions on tables. Yes, like we have actions on tables. All other triggers in a table. Right now, I want us to explore a property of a page known as the actions. It's just right there. It's a global property. So you have actions, and then under actions, you can also have areas. You can have area processing, you can have area recreation, area reporting, area navigation. You can have these four types of areas. So I want us to use area processing, and then inside this area, I'm talking about a part right here on top. So this is where the actions will appear. So we want to create an actual action that when you click something happens. Let's call this action submit. So that when we submit, what happens is that the document gets submitted. And property of an action is that it has an application area, just like a field, a table field, just like a page field. It has an application area, which is basic. Let's have it as basic switch, and then it also has. Importantly, you need to specify what needs to happen. It has a trigger. Then this trigger is not on validate. It's not on lookup. It's on action. So you are asking this action to do something for you when you click it. So we want to change status. So the status that we want to change is this field. So when we submit, let's say we change it like rec.status. So we will initialize that status. That's the initialize operator, rec.status. Since the status, you remember our status was of type field of type option. So you can use double colons and then select the status you want to put when you click on this submit action. So now what we need to do is, after we've changed a field in a table or in anywhere in a record, then we have to modify that record so that we're telling from the status that you had before. Maybe you are in open, you are in issued, so please change it to pending and then initialize the same status. So it will take this state and put it right here. Remember, our current state might be open right that way, and then we want to see it changing to pending. So this is, we'll just submit and then it changes it to pending. So I'm going to publish this and then we will see what happens. We can still explore what really happens behind those actions. Now it's publishing, and we are using localhost as our server. These are the things we did earlier in the video, and we were explaining how to set up the ports, the database, the instances, and even creation of a page, creation of a table, basic properties of a page, of a table. We'll still go up to reports and code units and all those other things that we need to do in AM. So so it has published successfully. So let's open our landings and see the we had created a landing request right here, which is about to, it's still loading. So it's getting the data from the database. And remember, I'm using the slowest server that I can think of now. Now the patient will serve us, right? Let's open this. You can see it's still open. Right here, you can see we have actions. So let me go to the source code. These are the actions right here. Under the actions, we have areas. So let's see, under the action, we have areas, and then we only have one area, which is processing, and then we have an action submit. So when we click this submit, we expect this status to change from open to pending right here. This is indicated right here in line 79. Now let's see if that will happen. You can see it just changed from open pending, and it automatically changed from open to pending since we have also included a line here to modify. So now we don't want these actions getting hidden. What do? We promote those actions. Now there's a property under the action which is called promoted. So we tell it, yes, we want to promote you, promoted to, and then we promoted category. You can have various categories. We will discuss those one in the future, but for now, let's use a default process. And then if you look at this submit, there's no icon. We want it to be fancier, like you have an icon for submit. So there's a property called image, and then let's see if Microsoft have something to do with submit. No, it does not have. What about accept, send for send? Yeah, send approval request. So let's use that action, and you can over to see how it look like this. But remember, it will not be this colored. So we'll publish. Good God, it has successfully published. Let's open our record and see if there's any little magic we can experience. Right here, you can see we have an icon and we have it promoted. It's not like Eden like this. It's not Eden, so it's exposed. It's exposed because one, we are only having one area which is processing, and we are also having one action which is submit, and we're also having this process here as as a promoted category for this action. So again, uh, another scenario, you've submitted, yes, it has changed to pending, and then you want to, maybe you want to change to maybe approved. Yeah, we will still discuss approval workflows in the future, but we want to just have another action to just do that thing simply. So let's save ourselves some drama of typing a lot of lines, and then we change this to approve. Then let's call it, this is a different action. We've just copied here, and then we've pasted right here. So approve, we'll just change a few things. It's not necessary, but it makes sense to change the image to something different. And even here, we need to change it to approve, then maintain the modify. And then you can see we don't want anybody to tamper with the status, like changing it to issued, changing it to open, changing it to anything. So we will just do, what do we do? Yes, somebody said we can make it editable false. Yes, so that nobody edits. Then you can publish. So it has published successfully. So let's see if we can be able to open our record. Yes, open it. This is a card. This is a list. This is, when you open a list, this is a card. What lets you open this? Like you have a link here, is called card page ID. It's a property under the list page. Right here, you can see it's no longer editable, so we can submit. Oh, it was already submitted. We can approve it. Right there, you see it change to approve. So once a request has been approved, so it means this person can be issued with the request that they made. In this case, they will be issued with a book two, which is a book title, book two with the ICNB of that ICNB. So let's have a different action of issuing, when to issue books to this person. So we'll go back to our source code, and then we don't have to do some donkey work. Let's just copy and paste Control C, Control V, issue. When to issue these books. So we'll change this again to be issued. And then you can just try to look for different, yeah, a different image. So now when we trigger this action, it will change the status to issued. Remember, we are just changing the status on the header. We are not doing anything on the books. So I will just publish. Then so in our next video, after this video, we'll upload another video that will help us see the changes that we do on the header happening on the related record, which are on the lines. So that if we give this book to maybe John Doe, okay, it has finished publishing. So that if we give a book to John Doe, for an instance, we don't get to give it to someone else, because it will physically the book will no longer be in the library, or whichever where will it be. Anyway, it is finished publishing, and now we have an issue here. So if we click this, it's supposed to change status from approved to issued. Yeah, it has changed from approved to issued. So thank you so much for watching up to this end. That was about a simple thing on page actions, and I've demonstrated how we can change status of a page or a record using a page action. And that said, in our next video, we'll discuss how we can change these records here, so that if you issue a book, it marks it as issued and nobody else will be able to, to request for it. Thank you. Please, if you like the video, if you like the knowledge, please like. You can as well subscribe the channel for more videos and for more learning experiences.